Hello there, welcome to CoreTV News at 4. I'm Gete. The All Progressives Congress have raised the alarm over the alleged directive ordering the withdrawal of customs, immigration and other security personnel from the country's border post in Kebbi and Kaduna states. It wonders what purpose such a directive is meant to serve. In a statement in Lagos by its National Publicity Secretary Lai Mohammed, the party said the verbal directive led to the total withdrawal of the stated personnel from the border post in the two states, leaving the post unmanned. APC wondered who gave the order and for what purpose, and asked the federal government to immediately tell Nigerians what happened. The party said with no one left to man the borders in the affected areas for as long as the directive lasted, which is yet to be determined, anything could have happened. The party ordered that such a directive was given verbally so that there will be no record of it, and asked if the order is to allow free entry of contraband goods, election materials, weapons or terrorists. Nigeria's military authorities say troops have cleared Monguno and its environs of insurgents. Defense headquarters said through its Twitter feeds that soldiers took over the town from Boko Haram after a coordinated air and land assault. It said a number of insurgents operating around Baga were also captured during the military operation alongside truckloads of food and logistics. The military ordered that the land and air assaults are still ongoing, with soldiers advancing to other locations and communities meant to be cleared. A female suicide bomber has killed at least 10 people at Damaturu Central Motor Park, a bus station in the northeast Nigerian city. Yobe State's Commissioner of Police Marcos Danladi said that 32 people were injured in the attack. Witnesses say the assailant entered the station in a vehicle, got out and walked towards a small grocery store at the end of the terminal. According to one shop owner who prefers not to be mentioned, she then positioned herself in the crowd outside the store and blew herself up. Said one shop owner at the station, another shop owner in Damaturu, the capital of Yobe State, that the angry mob had prevented emergency workers from evacuating the remains of the border. They gathered the pieces, body parts and set them on fire, he said. The police in Kano State have confirmed the killing of 2 gunmen suspected to be Boko Haram members in Kibia local government area of the state. The command's public relations officer, ASP Magaji Majia, confirmed the incident in an interview with newsmen in Kano. He said the incident occurred late Saturday afternoon at about 5:30 p.m. when gunmen numbering about 6 stormed the police station on 2 motorcycles, but the police repelled the attack. He added that one of the gunmen was killed during an exchange of fire, while the other was launched by the community while trying to escape. Going further, he said 2 of the gunmen were also arrested and are now assisting the police in their investigation. Majia said the gunmen also abandoned one of their motorcycles before fleeing the area, adding that the police did not sustain any injury or death during the encounter. He, however, ordered that security has since been beefed up in the area, adding that neighboring states have been alerted in order to arrest the fleeing hoodlums. President Goodluck Jonathan says he is always worried whenever he heard unexpected public utterances being made against the Nigerian military. The president said Nigerians must learn to respect members of the nation's security forces because while they are asleep in their houses, the security men are on the streets making sacrifices. Jonathan, who spoke during a presidential dinner he organized in honor of widows of the nation's fallen heroes at the presidential villa Abuja, added that he decided to host the widows, the first in the nation's history, because his government appreciated their husbands who have paid the supreme sacrifices while securing the nation. He therefore asked all Nigerians to continue to appreciate the contributions of the security forces to the nation's peace. The federal government have distributed relief materials to people displaced from Chibok and other parts of Borno State that are presently taking refuge in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Finance Minister Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala led a government delegation to Kuje, a satellite town in the FCT, to hand over the materials to the internally displaced persons. She reaffirmed the commitment of the President Goodluck Jonathan's administration to supporting the displaced persons while also expediting efforts towards restoring security in their communities to enable them return home soonest. The minister, who was accompanied by the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Mohammed Sani Sidi, also disclosed that arrangement has been made for some of the affected children to be moved to unity schools across the country under the Safe School initiative. It's CoreTV News at 7. We'll take a break. Stay with us.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digi360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Welcome back. It's CoreTV News at 4. Now, do not forget that you can also catch us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has finally dumped the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP. Obasanjo, who announced his decision at a press conference in his hilltop mansion in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, says his decision is based on the lack of a clear direction by the party and the need to join the League of Statesmen and leave partisan politics. He thereafter handed his membership card of the PDP to the Ward 11 Abeokuta North local government leader of the party, Sarajuddin Oladunjoye, and instructed him to tear it. The latest event is a culmination of the former president's running battle with the presidency and the People's Democratic Party over what he termed as a failure of leadership. The Ogun State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has expelled former President Olusegun Obasanjo from the party. The expulsion of the former president from the party is coming just a few hours after he tore his membership card of the party to pieces in Abeokuta. We will bring you details in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the presidency has accused former President Olusegun Obasanjo of plotting with some unnamed Nigerians to disrupt the forthcoming elections and install an interim government on the country. It insists that, contrary to his position, the former president is only interested in returning to power through unconstitutional means. Spokesman for President Goodluck Jonathan, Ruben Abati, said in a statement that Obasanjo has been attacking the president's integrity for the purpose of self-promotion. He also maintained that President Jonathan has no intention of seeking to win the election through foul means and would continue to support the Independent National Electoral Commission and other relevant federal agencies in the bid for a successful election. Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose says former President Olusegun Obasanjo is fighting President Goodluck Jonathan because he has been prevented from ruling Nigeria from his altar farm. In a statement issued by his Special Assistant on Public Communications and New Media, Lere Olayinka, the governor expressed confidence that Jonathan will be re-elected to complete his 8-year term. He says that the former president is always trying to destroy anything that he does not control, adding that he is a cancer that cannot be cured in a lifetime. He says the failure of the former president to run the government is why he has supported Muhammad Buhari. He also berated the former president for his faililure to immortalize late MKO Abiola and wondered why he is fighting Jonathan for doing what he failed to do while in office. The People's Democratic Party Presidential Campaign Organization has asked former President Olusegun Obasanjo to stop playing God over his numerous criticisms of President Goodluck Jonathan. The Director of Media and Publicity of of PDP, Femi Fani-Kayode, debunked the allegation, saying the former president, under whom he served as Minister of Aviation and Special Assistant on Public Communications, was trying to play God. Fani-Kayode, while speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, says his former boss is trying in vain to control President Jonathan. He added that the problem between the two members of the ruling party has nothing to do with Nigeria, and called on the former president to leave Nigeria out of the issues between him and the president.
Again, it is ironic that President Obasanjo has accused President Jonathan of having a grand plan to stay in power at all costs and by all means. Yet, it is the same Obasanjo that tried to stay in power for a third term, even though the Nigerian constitution specifically forbade it. He tried all he could to change the constitution, but the whole thing failed and he was compelled to leave power. After Jonathan came to power, Obasanjo not only tried to control and teleguide him, but he also asked him to do a number of things that were simply wrong and unacceptable. It is for President Goodluck Jonathan himself to divulge those things, and I'm sure that he will do so at the appropriate time. Needless to say, President Jonathan refused to be teleguided and told what to do, even though at all times he showed Obasanjo maximum respect and accorded him all the privileges, access, and courtesies that is due to a former head of state and a father and mentor.
The People's Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2015 general elections, Goodluck Jonathan, and his All Progressives Congress counterpart, retired Muhammadu Buhari, may meet before the March 28 presidential polls to calm unwarranted tensions in the polity. A source close to the presidency says efforts are being made to broker a meeting between the two leaders expected to hold outside the country, aimed at establishing a rapport between them before the election. The source further disclosed that the move is geared towards checking the widening divisions among Nigerians and the unwarranted apprehension in the land. Meanwhile, the PDP has called on all political parties and other stakeholders in the electoral process to join hands with the Independent National Electoral Commission to make the 2015 general elections a success. The PDP National Publicity Secretary, Olisa Metu, in a statement in Abuja, says all parties must come together in the interest of the nation and ensure that measures that create the environment for credible, free and fair elections were firmly put in place. The All Progressives Congress has accused those who were mortally afraid of the 2015 general elections of sponsoring the circulation of Leave Let, urging the people of Gombe State to stay away from the polling booths on election days or risk being in trouble. In a statement in Lagos by its National Publicity Secretary, Lai Mohammed, the party says that it cannot put anything beyond the People's Democratic Party and the Goodluck Jonathan administration because of their desperation to ensure that the general elections did not hold at all cost. The party said even the attack on Gombe on Saturday was suspicious, wondering how Boko Haram insurgents would drive on the highway from Maiduguri to Gombe in a convoy of many vehicles without being spotted or stopped at the myriad of military checkpoints dotting the areas. APC said it was curious that the Boko Haram terrorists, who have never mentioned elections in the regular videos on YouTube, suddenly started campaigning against the conduct of elections. The party also noted that the local government elections in Yobe, one of the hotbeds of the Boko Haram insurgents, went without any incident in 2013, indicating that there had not been a systematic campaign by the insurgents to attack voters. APC said the alarm raised by Mike Omeri, the coordinator of the National Information Center, that some female suicide bombers might strike at polling units during the elections fit into the PDP Jonathan administration's opposition stronghold depopulation strategy. The party noted that the federal government does not want the elections to hold due to a fear of massive defeat, while also disclosing that Ghana used the PVCs during its latest elections without any problem. Vice President Namadi Sambo has urged Islamic clerics to educate their followers on the need to obey Islamic injunctions and respect constituted authorities. The Vice President, who was speaking at the ongoing ceremony of a seminar for Islamic clerics, also reminded them of their duties as the custodians of the society's moral authority. For their part, Kaduna State Governor Yero and Emir of Birni, Gwawe, both urged politicians to tread with caution as God gives power to whom he wishes.
Allah zai tafiye ka kai. Akwai mutane da suke kallon shugabanci ana faɗin shi ne kawai, amma wahalar da ke cikin shi yana da yawa. Kuma na ci malamai sun yi bayani a nan kan haƙoƙin shugabanni a kan wani ya kan haƙoƙin wani ya kan shugabanni. Amma kullum aka taru shugabanni sun fi wani yare. Kullum shugaba ne da yake, kullum shugaba ba a masa mutum. Da abin da ka sani, da abin da ba ka sani ba, da abin da ka faɗa, da abin da ba ka faɗa ba, kullum abin da ake so a ci a kan shugaba shi ne abin da ba na alheri ba ita ce za a tara.
Thank you very much. This is a very important Islamic sensitization conference on peaceful, non-violent election come this 2015 March elections. And from what has been said by all speakers and participants, it's very clear that we will all go back home and preach peace, non-violence, and ensure that we have a peaceful election from the 28th of March and the 11th of April in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
As I was telling the NTA crew, we believe that leadership belongs to Allah. He gives it to whom He wants at the time He wants to. So all people who are looking for leadership should ask from Allah, and Allah will give it to the right person. And whoever is given, we as Muslims shall follow him. That's why in my speech I said that parents should guide their children. I know that it's too late for the ones who have already gone astray, but Allah can do it. The parents speak to their children and teach them to abide by the rules of the country, the rules of Allah, and that intoxication and killing people or doing things like that is not the right thing.
Reactions have continued to trail the decision of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to postpone the date of the 2015 general elections, with the latest coming from a group of activists in Lagos. The activists, who were led by Gani Faroimi Park in Ojota by Lagos lawyer Femi Falana, says they will not accept any further postponement of the elections. They also held the mock election and say it is symbolic of the readiness of the people of Nigeria for the conduct of the elections.
Today was designed for the election. What we have done this afternoon is a symbolic protest against the postponement of the election, for which there was no basis. But we're also here to warn the government that will not accept any further postponement. Yes. And what has happened today is just a tip of the iceberg. We are just warning the government, because we are going to go back to reorganize. Exactly. Yeah. Well, I think that is no longer news. I think it's now very clear that the postponement is deliberately designed to promote the extension of the tenure of the government.
The Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria is demanding the resignation of Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Tahiru Jaga. This, it says, is the only way to guarantee credible elections on March 28 and April 11th. National President of the Transporters Union, Musa Isiwele, made the group's position known in an interview with CoreTV News in Abuja.
I pray Almighty Allah to arrest the gas mind so that they do the right thing. But if you do the wrong thing, it's going to plug the country into crisis. Because if you have my own opinion, my own personal opinion, with all these leakages that come out after the guy said, I'm very ready, 100% ready before even the state council meeting, and then I come back and said he's basically not on security. Later we discover that even the county message is not rapid. He should resign. He should resign and let sleeping the whole life, because if he, after this election, a lot of people may not believe is the outcome. They will be taking it as a manipulation. So that is my own opinion.
Governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA in Zamfara State, Sani Sheikhafi, has advised his rivals in the race, Abdulaziz Yari and All Progressives Congress APC, Muhammadu Zinkafi of the People's Democratic Party, to respect the peace accord endorsed by all three of them. Shinkafi said at a news conference in Gasua that the initiative led by Minister of Defense General Aliyu Gusau was a development worth honoring by all because of the caliber of people that surmount the meeting. He reminded the politicians of the charge to make their supporters conduct orderly campaigns while they agree to accept the outcome of the elections. It's CoreTV News at 4. We take another break. Please stay with us.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Morimi of Ife, and Moten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical, women being so powerful yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News. Welcome back. Following the beheading of 21 hostages by ISIS, the Egyptian military is currently carrying out airstrikes against Islamic State militants. Egypt President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi says his country reserved the right to punish murderers as he called a meeting of security chiefs and declared 7 days of mourning. Footage released by ISIS Online shows 21 handcuffed hostages beheaded in a coastal area in the Libyan province of Tripoli. In the latest issue of ISIS Online magazine, Dabiq, the group says the same number of Egyptian hostages were being held in Libya. The Coptic Church has also issued a statement saying it was confident the killers would be brought to justice, as the prestigious Cairo-based City of Islamic Learning denounced the barbaric killings. The security body meeting in Cairo includes Sisi as defense and interior ministers and military commanders. And that's our news for this hour. Please join us again. I am Gift or Gete.